Thank you very much for the opportunity. And let me also add my voice of commendation to Prof for the efforts, and greetings to my colleagues in the panel. I remember very well, it's about a year ago, and I was standing at the GBC when we did our virtual Eid celebration. That is the platform on which I had to really speak the mind of Islam against that kind of treatment that we saw meted out to that very innocent woman. Something we find very reprehensible and very condemnable, objectionable, something that as I view it myself, I can see in the plight of Auntie Akua Denteh, in her plight, I can see my own mom, my own mother. I can see my own mother probably going through that kind of ordeal. Like it's been said, once you don't have the empirical approach to be able to say this is that or that. So how were people able to determine that this is a witch or this is that? And that is the danger of it. So I think we are all at risk. My mother, your auntie, your daughter is at risk. Any day somebody just decides that he wants to accuse her, he can, and then the most horrible and awful manifestation of how society will act is what we saw on Auntie Akua Denteh. Yeah, that's exactly what we saw. And I think the threat is against all of us. From the Muslim point of view, I think what we have been doing is just to use the pulpit. I cannot say that there has been any direct or deliberate program, but that is to use our teachings about the protection of human life and the respect for the sacredness of human life. For example, around this time when we are celebrating, we use the Prophet's testamentary message. But like he said in one of his speech that your life, your dignity, and your property is as inviolable as this sacred day of yours. In other words, so if you are a Muslim, then you hear this, that as a people, when you are living, the blood and the life of any person is inviolable, like the inviolability of the sacredness of Mecca, for example. So it's something that we need to continue. And this brings to my mind, I think I like this idea where we must be deliberate. I'm thinking about anti-witchcraft accusation campaign.
Anti-witchcraft
accusation campaign, which comes at different levels. One of them is to fight for legislation. But legislation is not enough. Witchcraft belief is an entrenched belief. It's metaphysical. The people believe in it, and it's perpetual. It's there. Once it is a long-term, ancient mindset, and it cuts across the whole large society, thinking that just law will be enough will be a bit on the low side. So we look at it at two levels. Once it is a mindset, what should be the approach for us to deal with it, such that no one can just rise and then be accusing people, and then those who will fall to it now will face the consequence. Well, that's when the law there must be a way by which we are able to monitor such accusations and get the law enforcement agencies to be informed. There must be a certain system within society, certain volunteers, for example, who are there once they have the intelligence that a possibility of accusation of witchcraft is there, then we set the monitoring system in place to ensure that once it happens, all those connected with accusations are already caught by the net, including those who did the act itself. But let me say also that I was worried, and I think that we must emphasize this, that those who were actually exacting that kind of horrible treatment to this 90-year-old woman were women.
Yes, we saw it in the video. That's true.
But I think we need to educate ourselves, because I know, according to my belief, no, women represent a certain attribute of God, of his compassion, his affection, and that are special attributes. So that's why when children cannot go anywhere, it's the bosom of their moms that they go. And I think that the women should maintain that kind of attribute We should not see them. I would have loved to see that it is the irresponsible man who was doing that, so that I can be able to. But say that, look, the man is wicked. The man is wicked. It's wicked. It's callous. It's callous. But we need to really get our women also not to be the tools that are used. The tools that are used in the accusation or in the exaction of that kind of horrible and awful treatment to fellow women. I think religious leaders and chiefs and opinion leaders in society need to be brought on board. Yeah, because these are the voices that are heard. The chiefs, for example, are the repositories of our beliefs and values. So if it is part of their belief, then you can see a certain contradiction. Even as you make an attempt to deal with the issue, it's an entrenched belief and the repository of our values, the one who holds and preserves our value, believes in it.
Absolutely.
Believes in it. So if you don't get those who matter in this thing, you know, society the way it is. You get somebody to the police station, and then before the chief himself is coming to relieve the person. Thank you.
And that's something we saw. Thank you, Sheikh. Please put your hands together for Sheikh